Most of us are aware that the Pacific Ocean lies between the Americas in the east and Oceania and Asia in the west. The Atlantic Ocean sits between Europe and Africa in the east and the Americas in the west. The Pacific Ocean is the world's largest and deepest ocean, covering approximately 165 million square kilometers. It has an average depth of 4,280 meters. The Atlantic Ocean comes in second, with an area of around 107 million square kilometers and an average depth of 3,646 meters. While we've given our planet's oceans separate names, in reality, there's no border between them, and currents continually flow between them and mix their waters. Still, each of the planet's oceans and seas has its own characteristics. For example, the surface salinity of the Atlantic is higher than the Pacific and Indian Oceans, while the enclosed waters of the Red Sea and the Mediterranean are saltier still. This is because lower salinity waters from the deep sea cannot easily flow in, and water evaporates faster than rainfall can replace it. But enough about that. In this video we are going to talk about the Atlantic and Pacific Ocean, and I am going to tell you if they mix or not. Keep up with me. There has been a claim that the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans don't mix has again emerged on social media. However, the claim is wrong. The video was shot at a site in Canada where a freshwater river flows into a body of salt water. Further, the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans do mix, and their iron and clay content is not an important factor in forming mixture, according to a NASA oceanographer. So why do we see the water not mixing in videos and photos? Well, there are some things that we must consider. The first thing is ocean boundaries. The Atlantic and Pacific Oceans meet in the Drake Passage, which is a 528-mile wide, 850-kilometer wide, bottleneck of ocean between South America and Antarctica. It's a turbulent little spot, feared by mariners since it was first discovered in the 1500s. It makes a lot of sense that a cartographer long ago looked at a map of the gigantic Atlantic and Pacific and decided the Drake Passage would be the gateway from one to the other. Drawing a little line on a map between Cape Horn at the southernmost tip of Chile and the Antarctic Peninsula was just the simplest way to do it. But the boundaries of oceans are pretty arbitrary, just like neighborhoods in your town. There's nothing really different about the waters to the east and west of the longitudinal line drawn by that guy looking at a map somewhere in Europe hundreds of years ago. But there are lines out there in the ocean, they're just not the kinds cartographers find very useful. The second and last thing is ocean fronts. We have to think about two things when we're considering this question: what's happening at the surface where people are seeing these lines of different color or turbidity, and what's happening under the surface. Says Sally Warner, a professor and physical oceanographer at Brandeis University. Although these videos probably aren't doctored, it's unclear where they were filmed. Of course, it's possible they were taken in the Drake Passage, but they could also be showing something happening in a completely different part of the world. Ocean fronts are masses of surface water that have different temperatures or salinity. Fronts out in the open ocean can be extremely sharp, and they can sometimes come together in a way that looks like two flavors of ice cream sitting next to each other in the carton. The viral videos you may have seen online showing two different colored bodies of water drifting alongside each other, claiming to be the meeting point of the Atlantic and Pacific, are actually showing light-colored, sediment-rich freshwater from melted glaciers meeting dark, salty ocean water in the Gulf of Alaska, and over time, currents and eddies cause these to mix, too. This original video was shot in 2015 but was later mislabeled as being the meeting point of the Pacific and Atlantic. Based on our research, we rate false the claim that a video shows the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans, which don't mix due to clay and iron content. The video does not show the meeting of the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans but a meeting of freshwater and saltwater in Canada. Further, the oceans can and do mix regardless of clay and iron content. Well, that's all I have for you today, folks. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to this channel so that you don't miss out on more interesting videos like this.